Time to...
I set a reminder.
Alright.
We're live?
Yeah, we're live. How's everyone doing?
We're live.
So yeah, fair warning everyone, there is a bit of a delay.
There's an audio delay, but...
That seems to be
like
a recurring problem for us.
Anyway.
So yeah, I would say just listen in, comment when you feel like you should, and I would love any,
support,
input, and support right now.
Yeah, I mean, because
for this video,
obviously something that's been very, very big for Star Wars fans, it's been very successful on Disney Plus, is the book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I for one enjoyed most of it. I didn't think it was as good as The Mandalorian, but that was to be expected.
Before we get into our full thoughts, does anyone want to say, have you guys been doing?
Yeah.
And, how did you guys enjoy the Book of Boba Fett? Just put in the comments, if you can. Did you enjoy it? Were you disappointed by it? Because I know online not everyone's enjoying the show. It's actually very, very 50-50. It's very mixed. There's a lot of people who love it, a lot of people who hate it. So, let me know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts, because it's Star Wars. It's not new that there's a bit of controversy, and that is okay. So just be respectful in the comments, though. That's all we ask, to be respectful in the comments. And so my general thoughts on Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, because on one hand, I love when they moved the story forward to The Mandalorian. I loved that.
I thought that was great.
Episodes 5 and 6, one of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. Not even joking. But the show overall, I'd say, very similar to my thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker. I love it, but it's a mess. I enjoy it quite a bit, but it is undeniably a mess, and it's ranked lower because of that.
Yeah.
The structure of the first 4 episodes, the going back and forth between flashbacks, I thought was... you could have had all the flashbacks in the premiere episodes, and then you can actually flesh out the present-day storylines. I didn't feel like they really fleshed it out enough.
I think that...
Especially when you cut to Din Djarin and his story, that's when I got really excited about the show, and that's why I love it. I still love the show. It's just... I'd say I still prefer The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch to the Book of Boba Fett, but I think it is better than The Clone Wars.
So for me, The Clone Wars is my favorite Star Wars show. So obviously I don't think it's as good as The Clone Wars, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Bad Batch way more than I thought I would. So that's my second, actually. I know that was also something a lot of fans really loved on Disney Plus, and that was very successful. But for Book of Boba Fett, it's just not something I absolutely thought was flawless or anything. But I enjoyed it, and I overall love it.
So yeah, for those of you who are currently watching the video, we'd still love to hear your thoughts on if you enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett. If you didn't, any speculation, any input that you have is obviously welcome, and we will respond to every comment.
Yeah, I think... what was your favorite episode of the Book of Boba Fett?
My favorite episode of the Book of Boba Fett? Oh, man. It had to be second to the last episode.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. I mean, you can't beat it.
And that's... Take that episode out, and it goes under Clone Wars. Because I love Clone Wars. But that over... I got some Luke bias, I'm not gonna lie. Luke Skywalker is my favorite character in the entire Star Wars saga. Especially him in Return of the Jedi. So seeing these shows showing us Luke in his prime only a few years after Return of the Jedi is what I've wanted to see for years, and I never thought we were ever going to see.
Right.
So, and especially to see that they've enhanced the effects this much to where I did not know that it was digital. I did not know that it was CGI. I thought it was a different actor who looked shockingly like Mark Hamill. I am so happy they were able to do that.
I, for one, could tell that it was digital and thought there was just a little bit of that uncanny valley in there.
The voice felt a tiny bit off.
So the voice felt a tiny bit off, and the mouth didn't.
Just a little bit.
I mean,
just a little bit.
Like the range of motion for the mouth, though, just wasn't quite what it should have been.
Like because episodes 5 and 6, which are amazing, and then I wouldn't say I love the show, but I really enjoy it. But those episodes are some of the best Star Wars I have ever seen. The show overall, I still love.
Yeah.
Because of those episodes, and because I still did enjoy enough most of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about with Boba. We got to see some setting up for Mandalorian season 3, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see them setting up for the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. Because Mandalorian, they're actually setting up this season 3 to be a really large-scale retaking of Mandalore. Because you see those flashbacks, and you see these TIE bombers, you see this giant fleet of TIE bombers, you see that, like, building on Mandalore being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
You see these K2 units, like, just shooting, you see probe droids, it just looks so scary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely them setting up. And also there's the setup with the, Darksaber.
Yes.
The Darksaber setup, which I was really... Again, I love episodes 5 and 6.
So, speaking of the Darksaber, I'm going to, coming soon, I'm going to be making a video that's about if, or the possibility that Grogu will actually wield the Darksaber in the future. The best episode was 6, says Disco Mando Music. By the way, Disco Mando Music is making some very good music, some very good music edits on his channel, so I would check him out.
He's doing the music for our upcoming
Star Wars fan series, yeah.
So that should be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be great. So yeah, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
It is.
And Boba Fett reinstates that, even though it's not in itself a masterpiece. But it is great. And honestly, I'm not going to say I was disappointed by it either.
Yep.
Because, okay, now, do you think Boba Fett was out of character? Because that's a big debate online right now.
I do not think Boba Fett was out of character.
Me neither. Here's the thing.
I think Boba Fett never really did it.
And it's similar, like, and a lot of people have, like, mentioned this. It's very similar to, like, the online debate about whether Luke was in character or not in Episode 8. And it's like, people change, and they literally show us in flashbacks why these characters are the way they are now.
Right, and they were changes that make sense for the characters. Yeah. Like, it makes sense that Boba Fett would grow and he would be able, but still, he does still kind of follow the same family values that we see in, like, Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars, that we saw then in Boba Fett.
And I've never been and I know, like, this might be, I've never been a huge Boba fan. I've never been a fan of the character of Boba Fett. I've always loved Jango Fett. Now, I thought he was super interesting. He was a template for the clone army.
Right.
Loved everything with Jango.
I still think Jango is a more interesting character than Boba. And I think...
Then they brought Boba back in Mandalorian Season 2. Blew me away.
Yeah.
He was awesome. One of the coolest fights in all Star Wars when he was just shredding those stormtroopers, and he used that, like, rocket and destroyed those. Oh, man, I love the... that kind of combined, like, the First Order and Imperial to, like, make these new troop transports that were basically just the First Order ones with, like, this little cannons
right
on the side, but he destroyed those. And again, though, I didn't really think Boba Fett had potential to be better than Jango Fett until that post-credit scene, where he conquered the criminal underworld. He shot up the Jabba's palace, and I'm like, whoa. That's... Because, again, I was hearing all those rumors of Boba series, and I'm like, that still wouldn't interest me all that much. And then there's that of Boba taking over Jabba's palace. And I'm like, that's an interesting direction to take the character. Why does he want to do that? Like, what is his motive? And after a full season of development, and I've gone a little back and forth on Boba's character, I think he should have been a little less weak at some points in the series. Like, he got beat up all the time, and, like, it was, like, Fennec and Mando and Chrysanthemum that would always do this stuff for him.
I think...
But by the end of it, he established himself as a badass, so I'm okay with it.
Now, my only criticism about the show is I think...
Alex P. said thumb down to Boba Fett.
Oh.
Alex P.
You know, fair enough. Yeah.
Which I mean you're not in the minority there. I'm not saying you're in the majority. It's just very 50-50.
Yeah.
There's opinions all over the place for it, but it's Star Wars. That was it with the prequels. That's it with the new ones. So it's not new. It's not a big deal either.
No.
But it's
so
what was your big issue that you were talking about?
Me? Yeah. So my only big issue with the show was I feel like, well, I have two. I feel like they should have integrated Din Djarin into Boba Fett's story more than kind of reestablishing this Din Djarin story and then putting Boba Fett into that. And so that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I think Grogu should have still had some connection with the Jedi, and if they were going to take that away, that should have been in The Mandalorian and not in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, and I've heard that criticism. I mean, just here's the thing. I just put a huge smile on my face saying more Mandalorian, but I do completely understand that, it's...
Right, I mean, I thought it was fun. Some part of me was glad that he wasn't just going away, but, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, how Star Wars explained saw it is that he just saw it as the Book of Boba Fett. It's okay, there's chapters where there's different characters. With Grogu and the Jedi, I feel in the Boba Fett show, maybe it should have been somewhere else, but again, I was just so happy with it. And
so Disco Man of Music commented, I don't like all the bookba. I'm guessing it was Boba, and then he retracted the message.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
I mistype things all the time.
Right. So Disco Man of Music, we would love to hear what you had to say initially.
Yeah. Okay, but with the Jedi thing, I'm gonna make a video about this too. Why? Because some people thought, like, was that out of character for Luke to just give Grogu back? No, because a Jedi must forego all attachments. Luke didn't do that, so people were like, wait, then why would Luke even still establish that rule? Because Ahsoka, that's Ahsoka's rule. That's why she's there. It's not just fan service. Ahsoka is the one who probably tells Luke a Jedi must forego all attachments.
Right. Now,
Grogu is a kid.
Grogu
is a kid.
This goes back to
bad decisions.
The old now Legends books. They had the series that was like the Book of the Sith, the Path of the Jedi. They had all those books. They had one for the bounty hunters, but for the Path of the Jedi, they had Luke Skywalker make reference to the fact in like a little footnote that he was doing things differently, where his members were all voluntarily Padawans and they weren't kidnapping children the way that like ancient Jedi would have in Legends. So I do like that concept coming back into canon in the the Book of Boba Fett.
And also with Luke sees, because normally what Jedi do is they take kids from really young ages who don't have much attachment and they start training them. But Grogu has this huge attachment.
Hey, Dutastic.
Luke sees that he's miserable. Luke sees that Grogu is miserable, so he's like, okay, I'm going to give him this choice. Mm-hmm. That's perfectly in character with where Luke was at that point in the timeline. And I don't think we're done seeing Luke. I made a video about it. I think he's going to be in the Ahsoka series.
Right, so
interacting with maybe Hayden Christensen's Anakin as a Force Ghost.
So Disco Man of Music says, I don't mind all the Din Djarin stuff.
Though that might be biased because he's my third favorite Star Wars.
Second favorite Star Wars character. Stories have interludes. I did love Boba in it though. Alright, I think that's fair enough.
Because again, I hear some people saying, but like, let's be honest, did the show really do a good job? Like obviously everyone was watching it, or a lot of people were watching it, but did it really do that great of a job of getting fans talking until Din Djarin showed up?
No
one, again, I'm not gonna say no because everyone was watching it, or again, like a lot of people were watching it. But again, it didn't really get people obsessing about it online and talking about it until Din Djarin came back.
That's true.
And that might not make Boba Fett look very good, but it sure does show this show got us a lot more excited. We were all still watching, but it got us more excited when Din showed with the Darksaber, and they had the setup for season 3. And I think that just shows why Mandalorian is just simply a better show, at least in my opinion.
Yeah,
I know.
I kind of agree with that. I think The Mandalorian was a better show, And that is
By
partly
far,
because
yeah.
it was something new. It wasn't just kind of like an anthology story for Boba Fett. It was a new character in a somewhat new environment still within Star Wars.
Also, well, I heard them talking about this in the behind the scenes of Mando Season 1. They took old elements and did something new with them, IG-11. For example, they took like concept art and they used that for some of the characters. Like Din Djarin, the original concept, the initial idea was to actually have him be Boba Fett, but they decided that wouldn't work. So we're going to have it be a new character, and that works so much better.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision.
And honestly, Mandalorian was the first time I ever got... Because I've always been more of a movie guy, but Mandalorian was the first time I went, I love TV shows, or I love these like series. I love shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the first time I got so invested in a series after just like 5 minutes. They did such a good job at building that world. And season 2 was somehow even better. Season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian are masterpieces.
And that's rare. Like, like that's something that we saw in the Clone Wars, and that's something that we saw in Rebels, and going from this. What?
What's something that we saw in Rebels?
Kind of going from a very mediocre season 1 to a much better season 2.
Yeah, and also Clone Wars got better. I feel like Mandalorian, though, right off the bat.
Right, but Mandalorian was so good because it started off really well with that first season, but season 2 it just did so well at building off of that and making it better. Yeah.
And the Star Wars shows do that. Even like the ones that aren't so good in their later seasons, they get better, which is great. Mm-hmm. I'm honestly really happy that they do that. As for the book of Boba Fett, what about season 2? Do you think there's going to be a season 2?
So I think they're probably going to build off of that Cobb Vanth storyline. I don't know that that's going to be.
I have a theory about Cobb.
Right.
Vanth,
so I don't think that's going to be a Book of Boba Fett season 2. I think my guess is that was it for the Book of Boba Fett.
So they're setting up the future of the Mandoverse, not just Book of Boba Fett.
Not just Boba Fett.
And I think that's a big. Oh, Disco Mando said, I wasn't sold on it at first, but I eventually really started to appreciate the new direction of Boba's character. I agree with that.
All right.
What are your thoughts on the new direction of Boba Fett, ruling with respect, etc.?
Right.
It makes sense.
I think that makes sense too. I think he's kind of following in that Jango Fett. He's cool. He knows how to kill people. He's good at it, but he's also diplomatic. And I think that's something that we haven't really seen Boba doing much, but we've seen Jango doing it. So it doesn't seem out of character to me at all.
Okay, there's another big character we haven't talked about yet. That's Cad Bane.
That is Cad Bane. So Cad Bane has been my favorite bounty hunter since the Clone Wars. So I am.
For me, it was like later down the line. Like I wasn't super sold on him in the Clone Wars, and again, I love the Clone Wars. Like it keeps sounding like I'm not a big Clone Wars fan. No, I am. It's just there's stuff I like more. More focused storylines a bit. But that does not work for Clone Wars.
No.
But Cad Bane, I was never a huge Cad Bane guy until the Bad Batch, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
When he showed up, and I was like, dude, this guy's actually really cool. And like he was fighting Fennec Shand, and I'm like, okay, that would be really interesting to see Boba and Shand again interacting. But we didn't see that too much. But again, Cad Bane and Boba. Now, maybe not a lot of people know about this, but like the deleted Clone Wars arcs with Cad Bane and Boba, where they had that shoot off. That was really cool. That was awesome. The Cad Bane and Boba Fett shoot off, and they reference it. I was so glad they referenced it, because for like the super casual viewers who maybe this is their first Star Wars thing. Like, I know that's
right. Well, I think that's pretty rare. I doubt there were many viewers of the Book of Boba Fett where that was actually the first Star Wars they've seen.
No,
I think it's possible that could have been The Mandalorian with like new Disney Plus viewers, but probably not the Book of Boba Fett.
But again, like just for fans, because I know probably a lot of fans love the animated stuff. But when it comes to like deleted arcs, as for deleted arcs, it's
Disco Man music.
Not a lot of people know.
his chin was too high. That is true. That is true. Disco Man and music.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of videos defending Cad Bane's look, and I will defend Cad Bane's look in the Book of Boba Fett because.
But you're right, Disco Man and music. His chin was too high.
I know, but he put it in quotes. He put it in quotes, and he like had the letters like lowercase capital. That's kind of making fun of that claim.
Yeah, but I do agree with that claim though that his chin was too high. I think now I still thought he was cool, and oddly enough, in his second episode, so the final episode, I think he looked better than in his first one.
Here's the thing. This year, my respect for Cad Bane's gone way up.
Yeah.
Ever since Bad Batch, and now Book of Boba Fett. That's not what you meant?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Could you elaborate on that? It's not a big deal, but
yeah.
It's fun talking about Star Wars. It's really fun talking about Cad Bane. I think Dutastic says, I think they should have established a connection between Boba Fett and Cad Bane within the Book of Boba Fett, the way that shootout has more weight. Yeah, because for us who've seen, again, I don't think a lot of people have seen the deleted art.
I think...
They were deleted.
Right.
So, like, people like me, I was like, yes, this is like an end to a major chapter in Boba's journey.
Yeah.
But for someone who's not seen that, they're like...
Right.
Cool.
I think it's possible that there are people who have seen the movies, The Mandalorian, and the Book of Boba Fett, and for them, they probably wouldn't have seen the Clone Wars, and they probably wouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good.
So yeah, it's... Do you think it was a good move killing off Cad Bane? Or do you think he's dead?
I think that was...
If anyone was gonna...
Yeah. Well, alright, I think Cad Bane... I have no real opinion on it because I think Cad Bane to me is a Clone Wars era character, and all of this is kind of a sequel to Cad Bane's, or is kind of an epilogue to Cad Bane's story.
So what I kind of thought is like, obviously Bad Batch was the first thing they revealed. Oh, Cad Bane survived that shootout with Boba. But we haven't seen him at all in the comics that happened in the original trilogy era about the Bounty Hunters, War of the Bounty Hunters, for example. Right. Like, I hope now they kind of do more Cad Bane stories in the original trilogy era. Like, what if he shows up in Andor or Kenobi? I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying now they've opened up the door. I think he's dead. Some people think he's still alive, so there's like this button beeping, flashing. I don't think it means anything.
No, I don't either.
I really don't think that means anything. Also, they need to stop with like this whole like replacing people's body parts with.
Yeah, that I thought that was
the way Cad Bane survived. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's alive.
I thought that was a mistake, though. Hey, mind if you take over the stream for a second? I have to get a cord.
You have to get a cord. Okay, that's fine.
So.
But geez, maybe my biggest issue with the Book of Boba Fett, my least favorite episode by far is the third one.
Yeah.
With the Mos Espa Vespas. And the biker gang that basically replaced their body parts with machines. And I guess that was an interesting way of connecting to the whole fact that Fennec has that robot thing. They connected that. That's the only way they connect, though, to the story. They were so out of place. Again, like, this is, like... It was just so awkward watching them in all of their scenes. It was really weird. I did not like it. And, like, I get people say, like, hey, Star Wars is trying new things. But this is also my reaction to Visions. New does not always mean good. Just because it's new does not mean it's good. Just because it's new and interesting and it's not copying an old storyline, or it's not just adapting from an old storyline, does not mean it's good. It just means they tried something different. That's my thoughts on Visions. Because I don't like Visions all that much. But I know a lot of people do. So if you do, that's awesome. But, as for the... Yeah, I did not like the Mos Espa Vespas. They were, like, they came back in that final episode, and that's probably my biggest issue with the final episode, is that they were back. Oh, yeah, you gotta plug that in. That's okay.
Yeah.
But, alright, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about, because there is a lot to talk about with this show. Alright, Lige, what did you think of the Wookiee?
What did I think of the Wookiee? I thought he was cool.
Honestly, that got me so excited in that second episode when he showed up. Also because
All right, it looks like we are. Billy? All right, so we're live, and yeah, just wait for us to connect. Billy, you still on here? Oh, I guess he isn't. That makes sense. So, all right, I'm back. Just give us a second. We're going to get Billy, the other guy, on here any second now. But, all right, we are live once again. So if anyone has anything else to add in the chat, that works. VUM today. Don't know what you're talking about. If you could elaborate, that would be great. VUM today. From John Cena. Interesting. Yeah, I think this is a good time to start thinking about future Star Wars projects that we know will be occurring. So we have a possible Cobb Vanth storyline that I think could possibly be that Rangers of the New Republic idea, because obviously it's not going to be what we previously thought. Yeah. I would say things are going pretty well in the world of Star Wars. We have, with the Book of Boba Fett just done. Okay, we have a Dutastic. I think they should have introduced Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett sooner, like in the 3rd or 4th episode, so that the show has a stronger villain and his death feels more impactful. Okay, I think you were right about that. If I had made the Book of Boba Fett, that's what I would have done differently. I completely agree with that. Looks like he is back. So, yeah, we have Billy joining right now. We will have a back and forth conversation going again shortly. Joining. Yeah. While we wait, let's talk about that concept of Cad Bane and how things should have gone differently. I thought Cad Bane was cool in the Clone Wars, honestly. I think... Alright.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we apologize for that, everyone.
Yes, we apologize for that. Oh, yeah, I was hearing what you were saying. I agree about Cad Bane.
Yeah.
I agree about Cad Bane for sure. That's, so yeah, you start talking. I don't have, oh yeah, what we were talking about before I, got off is Chrysanthemum. The Wookiee Black Chrysanthemum. He's actually a comic character.
Yeah,
He's a character from the Star Wars comic.
the funny thing is when they were still, coming up with the concept for him for the show, though, they called him Black Baka.
Interesting. I'm glad they.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
glad they chose the comic character instead, because that character fought Obi-Wan in the comics. I'm pretty sure he's in some of the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff. I don't think it's been in the main comics of it, but I'm pretty sure he was in part of that. And it's so great. They're taking these characters from the lesser-known books and putting them into Star Wars, like the new shows. Like Cobb Vanth is from the last trilogy.
imagine if they started doing that with Star Wars Tales. How horrible would that be?
No, I mean, that's not even canon.
No, it's not. So they'll never do that.
Cobb Vanth in the Aftermath trilogy, that's where he was introduced back in 2015. And they just decided, hey, we want to bring Boba Fett in, but this is the guy with his armor right now, so let's have him be a big character. And now they're doing that with Black Chrysanthemum. They're like, hey, let's take these lesser-known Star Wars characters and put them into the spotlight. And I love that.
And
I love that.
That's kind of what they did for the Clone Wars, and that there is kind of a history of that in Star Wars TV shows.
Yeah. And now since Star Wars TV shows are way more popular than they once were, it's just great that now this central Star Wars stuff, they're bringing in all these characters from books and comics, and I gotta say I really respect that.
I do too.
What was your least favorite episode of the Book of Boba Fett?
My least favorite episode of the Book of Boba Fett, the second one.
I actually like the second. I mean, for me, it was the biker gang one.
Yeah, I thought that was
Because
fine. It was
Not only did I, because I know, I've heard some people. I know people have gone back and forth. Some people call it the worst Mandoverse one, the third one, and I'm sorry, I gotta agree with that one, because not only did the biker gang feel super out of place, but they actively go out of their way to downplay on every single storyline set up in the previous episode.
That's true.
Huts literally go to his doorstep and say, "We are sorry." And no, that's just terrible storytelling when you literally, in the next episode, downplay and completely abandon all of these set up storylines. They kill off the Tuskens.
I mean, that's a lot of people's complaint about the sequels, and I don't entirely agree with that, but I feel like
I haven't really heard that. I mean, I guess when talking about comparison to the originals, the storyline set up by Return of the Jedi,
right? But
I guess a little bit. I probably disagree with that.
What I'm saying is people have complained about the character of Snoke being set up as being something really interesting in The Force Awakens and being somewhat abandoned by The Last Jedi and completely abandoned by The Rise of Skywalker.
I'm going to do a video sometime about why I disagree with that and because I've heard people actually defending Snoke in The Last Jedi and defending that no, they didn't abandon their storylines, and with Book of Boba Fett, there's no one defending that because it's just undeniable.
Right, there's really no defense for it with the Book of Boba Fett when there is for the sequels.
With the sequels, there's a lot of videos already online from Hello Greedo and AT-AT Chat, and a lot of people about no, Snoke's role in The Last Jedi was to propel Kylo Ren's character forward, where with these Hutts, I don't even know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
With the Hutts, but again, that was the one I didn't like. As for I actually really liked the second one. The two episodes I didn't like was the first one. I did a video about why I didn't like the first one. I don't feel like I need to go over that again.
No.
It just felt more like a preview than an actual episode. It was here's a special look.
Yeah.
At the like John Campio, who's a YouTuber I really like. He does movie podcast. He called it the pamphlet of Boba Fett.
That's fair.
He called it the pamphlet of Boba Fett because it gave us tiniest look into this flashback story, tiniest look into present day, nothing to hook the audience.
Yeah.
But then again, second episode really enjoyed. Really liked his relationship with the Tuskens. I liked the hero goes native storyline kind of thing. I actually really dug that. That was my favorite of the first 4 episodes. But what did you not like about the second episode?
The second episode to me felt, Disco Music says episode 3 wasn't that good. But yeah, my issue with the second episode was it felt racist. I'm not gonna lie. It felt kind of racist.
Dutastic says he thinks Snoke was used very well in The Last Jedi.
All right. And
I actually strongly agree with that.
All right. So
in Snoke we trust. I have my Snoke up here.
Then Dutastic, you'll probably want to watch Billy's video, and I would be happy to see it too, to see if I can be convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree. Dutastic, Snoke Club, Snoke fan club. So yeah, what did you think was racist about it? Jeez, it's just such a weird question coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. So yeah, what I thought, the whole thing about the Tusken Raiders, being on the Dune Sea, and like different tribes and the stereotypes about them, and the train going by and shooting at them, like, just, I mean, and then their like flutes.
Do you prefer the train heist?
Wait. And then their flutes and their drum music and the like headdress, the whole thing. The whole thing seemed kind of racist.
I honestly, personally disagree with that, but
all right.
Like, Disco Manda goes, when Snoke dies, he's like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He kind of is.
I did I made this edit where, like, from that first episode of Mando Season 2 where, like, Boba Fett shows up and Snoke's like...
And Disco Manda music.
Excitement.
If I were Snoke and I died that way, I would also be making that face.
Yeah, I mean, it's very painful.
Well, and pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Not
also,
to mention,
like, I mean, because Snoke thought he was winning.
Yeah.
He really did, and then at the last second,
and
he got eaten.
right at the last second.
Then he died.
Yeah.
Poor Snoke.
Yeah. So yeah.
But let me think.
I mean,
did you notice that? Okay, so episode 4. What did you think of episode 4? The one with Fennec, or the one where Fennec played a big role?
Yeah. I thought it was an improvement from 2 and 3, but
that one's kind of, when I look back, kind of forgettable. But here's why I like it, because this show promised us to see the relationship between Boba and Fett. We rarely ever got to see that.
Yeah,
Fennec is
and
one of
like
my favorite
that episode is kind of the only one that focused on that at all.
And also, it fixed Boba's motivations, because now we know why he wants to rule a crime syndicate. Thanks to his relationship with the Tuskens, we get these really good campfire scenes. My only issue with it is that, like the missions they go on, him and Fennec, are very forgettable, very basic. Like, they go rescue the slave one. He's bumbling around in a kitchen, chasing this tiny little droid. And then, like, a lot of people have called this out. Like, Boba, you knew what was going to happen when you take the slave one, and he goes like this down into the Sarlacc pit to look for his armor. Shines a flashlight. He shines a flashlight down into the Sarlacc pit. Of course, the Sarlacc was gonna grab onto the ship, but no, it died. Oh, Disco Mando says The Last Jedi is my favorite.
Sorry, everyone.
You know
Don't
what?
apologize for that, Disco Mando music. That's...
A lot of people agree with that.
Yeah,
now,
there's...
obviously there's a lot of people who don't, but a lot of people
right.
do agree with it.
And even if you were the only one, don't apologize for that. I mean, like, I could say that the Emoji Movie is, the most amazing film in history. And, yeah, I still wouldn't need to apologize for it, because it's not my opinion, just to be clear. But
No. But, again, Last Jedi is a film a lot of fans do like.
Yeah, it is.
There's just this very vocal group of people who really hate it.
I mean, I like The Last Jedi, for one. The only reason...
Am I still on here?
What?
Am I still on here?
Yeah, I think.
And you can still see me?
I can make sure.
Just put in the chat, because I got, like, I don't know, like... Nah, it's not a big deal.
No, you look
go on.
normal. But, so the only reason that I don't watch Star Wars The Last Jedi quite as often as some other Star Wars movies is because it's the one that I always watch on airplanes. So if I'm traveling, they
might do
have the only 2 Star Wars movies they have on, I think, Delta. It's either Delta or maybe United. Is they have The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and for whatever reason, I always pick The Last Jedi. So that means I never watched The Last
Awakens,
Jedi
if you guys don't know,
outside of an
guys,
airplane.
put in the comments your favorite Star Wars movie or favorite Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Favorite Star Wars movie, how about? Mine's The Force Awakens, and I will be doing a video about that, my sequel trilogy retrospective, which is still coming. It's still coming.
And I'm going to be doing a video on why I think Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is the best Star Wars movie. Because I still genuinely think it is the best Star Wars movie. And I think it's the best Star Wars finale, I'm not going to lie. That is the reason why some part of me still
now, guys, this
isn't sure about the sequels.
Because my favorite original trilogy movie and my second favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. It turns 40 this year. So you know what, may also be doing maybe we could both do a video about Return of the Jedi. Because again, it was my childhood favorite, or like before childhood, before I was 10. So the first 9 years of my life, or when I started watching Star Wars, Return of the Jedi was my favorite, and it's my second still, right behind Force Awakens. Love it. I'm so glad it's turning, or like I'm gonna celebrate. I'm celebrating.
Yeah, The Empire Strikes Back is a good one, Dutastic.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, Empire is my favorite. Yeah, that's like the majority of people are like Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, I actually saw a this like in theaters re-release of The Empire Strikes Back. Billy, you were there too. That was awesome.
We didn't even plan it. It was for the 40th anniversary. I told Elijah about it, so of course I went. Right. And Elijah was just also at the exact same screening.
Right. That was awesome though.
One of my favorite theater experiences of all time.
Yeah.
Probably right behind Force Awakens.
You know. I mean,
also Last Jedi was an amazing theater experience, though.
Yeah. So one of my favorite theater experiences, though, they have. I once went to this theater where they have the screen is like all over your head, all around you, and it's all really blurry, but it's kind of fun.
The Cinedome?
Yeah, and I saw The Force Awakens there for like the third time.
That was
back
the
in
third time I watched it too.
Yeah, back in probably early 2016, 2017. Yeah.
Because I saw it when it had just out, and then I saw it 2 more times.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and also summer 2020, they brought it back. When like theaters were just starting to reopen, they brought back Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
They brought back The Force Awakens and all these other. They brought back The Avengers too.
Yeah.
It was great. Again, that's my favorite Star Wars movie. So I'm so glad I've seen that one in the theaters so many times.
Yeah.
But I mean, and like if you guys went to the new Spider-Man movie, I went into it multiple times. Theaters were loud.
Yeah, they were. It was
theaters
good.
Were very loud.
But so I think before we start talking about that, we should address Kenobi.
Okay, so this is another big topic. Kenobi released its poster and release date, and if you noticed, Lightyear, Jurassic World, all those other big things that are having Super Bowl spots also did that. And there are now reports coming out
of a possible Super Bowl spot for Kenobi. Yeah.
And again, Star Wars fans, it's been 50-50 when it comes to Super Bowl, because Star Wars Celebration, right, is where we usually get the big teasers. Granted, Star Wars Celebration hasn't been a thing for a little while because of coronavirus, but it's coming back. It's coming back this year, late May. But again, Kenobi's already going to be out, so another big opportunity to leverage, a big event to release the teaser at, or a 30-second TV spot, is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because all of the big movie news they've dropped this week, all these images, all these posters, all these trailers, all of that stuff, it sounds like they're going to get Super Bowl spots.
Mm-hmm.
And it just leads me to believe, because again, Solo also came out May 25th, also had a TV spot at the Super Bowl. So it's very possible we could get tonight our first footage for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, if it doesn't happen, and you guys hear about it, don't go at us, because this is just speculation.
Right.
At this point. Like, there are reports. There are legitimate reports, but reports are not always true. As you remember from that Disney Plus Day, the disaster that was Disney Plus Day, everyone wants to forget now, for a good reason.
Honestly, I didn't mind that.
Goldman also did a video about how Star Wars fans were so pissed off.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like, since you took a perfect opportunity to actually reveal footage of the new Star Wars stuff at Disney Plus Day, might as well do something at the Super Bowl for Kenobi, because you're doing something for, sounds like that Moon Knight show is like the most anticipated Marvel show.
Yeah.
That's getting a trailer. Oscar Isaac's in that. Really excited about that. Also Doctor Strange 2, very excited about. Jurassic World, Lightyear. All this stuff I'm really excited about, but again, Kenobi, I'm gonna have my eyes peeled for a Kenobi spot. I'm very, very excited about even the possibility that we could get a few shots from Kenobi tonight. And that's you still on here?
Yeah, I'm still on here.
Okay, good. Because because I wasn't hearing you say anything, and I was like, wait a minute.
No.
No,
But
not again.
I'm on here right now. However, I think we're kind of running out of time, and I think we've gone through all the things we wanted to talk to. And this was a fun stream. We had a lot of people active. That was nice.
All right, so now one more thing, I do want to address this.
Yeah.
Our fan film, or now fan series. Do you want to talk about that a little bit now?
I would say let's wait on that for a channel update or a separate video.
Just expect a big update soon.
Yeah.
Expect a big update soon, let's just say.
Yeah. All right. So, I hope you all have a nice time until Wednesday when we have our next video, possibly the one about Grogu and the Darksaber.
Yeah. Also expect me to do a video soon about Grogu's decision that he makes in the Boba Fett.
All right.
But yeah, it's been a very fun stream. If you guys have any last thoughts, like now's like the last, or now's your last chance to maybe just say something else if you have any other thoughts. Otherwise,
We'll see you
thank
all.
you all for watching.
Yeah.
And may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
This is the way.